But yes, at the station during Coachella, they were like, "Yeah, you should really go to that Baby Keem." I was like, "Of course I was
You
going.
sure gonna be?
Homeboy's been lit." What's going on, Angel? How you doing?
Thank you for joining the podcast. Thank you for coming all the way out here in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, you know what? I don't live too far from here, so it's
Oh
great.
yeah, really?
Yeah, the vibes are real. I like the cozy and the lighting is right. So thank
Yeah, we
you
had
for
a
the aesthetics.
Coachella vibes. You got a palm tree.
Right.
There's a Coachella little poster thing from the documentary. I gotta put more stuff up. I still have to kind of finish decorating, but
I have a best friend. His name's Chris, and he's also in love with Coachella. But I mean, who isn't?
yeah,
But yeah, he would really admiring everything right now. I mean, I'm admiring it too, but I understand the level he would though.
he's a Coachella super fan. Or what?
Yeah, he's got the boxes, you know. He's it's amazing. He's really the one who got me into Coachella. So
It's just this. I can't describe it. You know the feeling. It's Coachella. Just
it's a magic, and like to have people from everywhere and then locals as well
yeah.
in that crowd. I've never seen so many people in one space, and it's like it's kind of like a what do you
Stimulating.
overstimulating.
Right when you're
Yeah.
walking, and literally it's just like a horde of people walking. Everybody's got
Doesn't
their
stop
own
moving,
thing. It doesn't
yeah.
stop, and it's just. Or when you go over the hill where you're going to the main stage, and you just see a sea of people going every direction. You're like,
Yeah. And you know what? I think there's so many different types of magic that you can come across on those grounds, cuz it's like that was the first festival I experienced being on someone's shoulders.
okay,
And you know, I'm 5'4", so like a platform can only take me so far. And so in like Coachella, they like I just wish they invested in a little some hills, kind of like the Roman
Coliseum.
the Colosseum. Thank you. Made it on someone's shoulders, a willing participant, because sometimes
A willing participant.
so they got to offer. I don't wanna put it on them and be like, I'm just trying to. But when they're down, they're like down.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Is there like a rule that you follow when you're on someone's shoulders? Do you like
well, if I
two
feel their knees
songs?
shaking, if I feel the knees shaking, I'd be like, oh no, let me down. Let's not. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, I met this guy. He was from Puerto Rico. I had got separated from my friend group. Those days, getting to the front was not complicated at all. It was great.
Oh, back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day. So yeah, but now it's crazy how each year evolves into its own entity. He was there alone too, and then he was just like, "You want to get on my shoulders?" And I was like, "Yeah," And wow, he was the most perfect set of shoulders I ever been on. Like I just felt so safe because he was jumping,
Oh, he was jumping as well.
jumped the whole time. I was like, this man is on a different level.
What were you guys watching?
Crystal Castles.
Crystal Castles.
Yeah, and that was when she had the broken leg, and so she was crowd surfing. And then it was so lit, I ended up falling back, and I got into a little mini crowd surf. And
Oh, what?
yeah, but people be grabbing.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah,
People
don't be crowd surfing.
I'm holding on to my dear belongings by life, and I was like, please don't drop me. Okay. You're trying to like let go, but then you're like, let's stay conscious. That kind of takes me to this year, though.
Yeah.
With Baby Keem. Woo!
Oh, how good was that set? Oh my god.
Ooh.
Which weekend did you go?
I went weekend 2.
Weekend 2. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Weekend 2's the best one.
it was. And here's the thing. I be a weekend 1 snob. I just am.
You gotta
I
go both
was.
weekends. You gotta both.
Well, I mean, if you can do both, I mean. Excuse me, why? You been doing both? Did you do both this year?
Yeah, since 2019. Well, the last two, 2019. 2019. I was like, you know what? This once a year. I bought them, and then I've been having the tickets since 2020. So then I have to buy them this year. So I just bought some for weekend 2. So I had to.
might
You
as
have
well.
to. If there was 3 weekends, I would go 3 weekends.
Shoot. Did you go to Stagecoach?
No, I didn't go to station.
You know, yeah, I think I was so tired just from Coachella.
Yeah.
I lost my phone the last day.
Damn.
No regrets. Technology's great. I love the cloud. So.
Were you ever? Just you didn't get it back?
No, I did not get it back. I tell you, and Yeah, I was
Well,
hunting.
tell me about the Baby King. Sorry, I cut you off.
Oh. It was just, I mean, the fact that Kendrick came out and like the station was telling me,
Oh yeah,
gonna be a
so
big guest tonight.
you work at a radio station. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, Tina Turntables. I am the radio host for Marker Broadcasting's FM station, Hot 95.9. We play top 40 mainstream. I'm on there Monday through Friday from 2 to 6. And I talk about a range of things, stuff that's on my mind. And mostly I love promoting like local events, local businesses that have like impacted me. And if there's some way I can offer more word, like the spread of a word to the people out there, I like to use my platform in that way because I do believe in a lot of businesses and just artists out here, and I want them to get their just due. So I'm just figuring out ways, but I do enjoy it. But yes, at the station during Coachella, they were like, "Yeah, you should really go to that Baby Keem." I was like, "Of course I was
You
going.
sure gonna be?
Homeboy's been lit since, I mean, come on, Kendrick, the cousin, the family ties.
That was incredible. Like I was in the mosh pits during Baby Keem. I did not go into that set with the mindset of getting in mosh pits. So I was actually towards the center. Do you see the Sahara? How they have like a little race platform. I was gonna tell you when you were saying they should have little hills. In
Yeah.
the middle of the Sahara, there's a platform where they run all the cables to the main stage. So you gain like 3-4 inches. So
That's in the middle?
it's right in the middle of the Sahara. That's a hack. Even if you're a little far back, so you don't want to be in the front, but
Get it.
you get like those three extra inches. And like I was in there, I was just watching the show,
Yeah.
and then out of nowhere I get pushed. I'm like, what's going on? And then to the left of me, a mosh pit just opened up. I'm like, oh man. So I didn't get in there at first because I was like, I don't know. I just didn't want. I didn't have the mindset, but it looked so much fun. I hadn't been in a mosh pit in years. I mean, it's the first festival since before the pandemic. I got in the mosh pit, and I was wearing like a cowboy hat because I went to see Grupo Firme, so
Beautiful.
Mexican
Oh, I
hat,
know.
whatever.
Yeah, I know them.
I got in the mosh pit, and then my hat got crushed and destroyed because one, it fell off my head, and then I ended up picking it up. So I was holding it close to my body, but I was just getting hit by the time the whole mosh pit ended because it was just like level. So certain songs would go crazy, then it would calm down, and then once Kendrick came out,
Done.
the whole roof just lifted off. So
I was in between. Like, where the like VIP artist section is.
yeah.
I was like along the railing, towards the front,
Oh, that's a good spot.
and it got. There's actually a time where I was just like this, and just being lifted off my feet, and
Just vibing with the crowd, right?
just I was like, wow. And there's like people in there, they were fighting it. They're like, ugh, get away from me. But then it's like, no, you gotta accept
They're go
it.
with the flow.
You gotta ride the vibe.
Turnstile is like a little rock band.
Uh-uh.
I didn't know about them until I saw them at Coachella. So I was walking by, I heard like a guitar riff. I was actually one of the restrooms next to the Mojave tent, and I just heard a crazy guitar riff, and the crowd go crazy. I was like, I don't know who that is. I want to go see that show right now. That's what's cool about Coachella. Like you just run into shows and bands that you've never
Discovery.
heard of. Yeah, Discovery's the best. And that one I got into a mosh pit too. So that was on Saturday. And then at the end of the mosh pit, actually I got in the mosh pit because I just kept going. I was going towards the front of the stage, and then the mosh pit was in the front of the stage. Then I got in the mosh pit, but then I got to the front of almost to the front of the stage. So I used the mosh pit to like cut across.
Yes.
And then when they play the last song, like that's when everything was rocking back and forth, and I couldn't control. So I was just going with the flow, like back and forth, back and forth. It was just so much fun. Like that was just and there was a guy crowd surfing close to the front of the stage, and it was just a crazy rock show that I had in Coachella.
I love that. And like I mean, looking at the charts and everything of like, I don't know, maybe 15 years before, rock had so much more of a presence. And so I love that you're still finding rock in this day and age. I mean, it's interesting what they consider rock, like in reflection to the award shows and everything.
Yeah.
But it's still being made. So
Yeah, that's
I
cool.
don't know, but it's Turnstile. This is new for me. So it is.
I don't know them a lot, to be honest.
Are they like an old band? Have they been around for a
No,
while?
I think they're a little. I wouldn't say maybe the last 10 years. I have no idea, but
That's great.
they look
though.
like a young, yeah, like it's like a newer band, and it's been catching a lot of steam. So they're like playing at some other festival at the Rose Bowl coming up soon. I think Just Like Heaven, or I don't know which. I saw them on a poster recently. So they're doing different shows. I guess rock's still around, you know.
You know what? And we do have a rock scene out here.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it the other day, and I was like, okay, it's such like a, I don't know. I feel like it's a time of the niche scene right now. A lot of like niche genres, they have their collective, and it just builds from there.
It's a core. You create with anything you build through a niche or a core.
Yeah.
The rock ones that they build their stuff with the rock shows. People still crave rock shows, you know. It's a different vibe.
Truly.
Hip hop shows, they're more violent. They're more, like some of them. But rock is just like you feel the guitars. There's something about watching a musician just shred the guitar on stage, and
Yeah, and you know what? And that's the thing about hip hop and rap. It's like there's so many different aspects to it, and like and like but I've been really seeing a lot of fusion lately.
right?
You
Yeah.
know, and like, oh my gosh. See, this is what radio taught me because I hear myself and I hear the words, my crutch words that come up, and yeah, that's the thing I'll say about radio. It makes me more conscious
Of what words you're saying.
yeah, oof. But I wanted to mention Mike Lavish. He was just doing DJing Razor J's show for, what was it called?
The Coachella.
Coachella, yes. And when Mike Lavish came on, it was it was like an angst. It was like metal and rock,
Yeah.
like just he's working on something over there. So, and I think fusion is the way, really.
Yeah.
And because I have like this gripe about the award shows because they don't adapt with the times. They're still doing things that they've always done. And so when it comes to the genre specification, it doesn't make sense to me. And I'm like, come on, y'all. All of our top 40 is so fusion.
Yeah.
No song is just pop. Some of it's like a little, it's just the fact that The Weeknd and Doja Cat's last albums were counted as R&B will always confuse me.
Yeah.
Because Don FM, that's like electronic and pop. Just like the two to come out. And then with Doja Cat, they put her under R&B, and I'm like, she's like a pop rapper.
Yeah.
You know?
I think of her as just pop. Like that's the first thing I think.
Saying?
Yeah.
Like that is pop today. And so
yeah, but the award shows don't matter anymore. That back in the day they matter.
They're just a fashion show.
It's a fashion show, and yes, of course, winning an award it does things for people's career.
Yeah.
But we live in the age of the internet now. It's like Doja Cat blew up through the internet. Yeah. Now she's one of the most streamed artists in the world, and it's like I don't know, that's its own thing, you know. And then Travis Scott creating that rock star kind of vibes that you're talking about.
Yep.
Yes, it's hip hop, but his shows and his style of music, it's more like a rock star energy, just turn up crowds. And there's a shift going on with rock music. I think it's coming back. So we were saying it's a little fusion. So, I mean, Machine Gun Kelly. I mean, I want to talk about a lot of people hate on him, but
on that leg of Machine Gun Kelly, I'm telling you, it's this indie girl rock with Willow Smith.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, she is so fun. I just have so much fun when I hear her music. She just seems
I haven't really listened to her music like that.
She's just flying her own flag. It's to the beat of her own drum, and it's great. It's speaking to a voice that she's like putting a voice to a little part of me, of like, oh, I see myself in her, and I don't know, and just all these indie girls like Pink Pantheress. Do you know her?
No.
So speaking of like breaking through with the internet, she got like really hot off TikTok, and she has this like drum and bass style music, but she sings on top of it, and it's this light internet genre music.
Yeah.
and she just blew up from that. And I just love it, and that kind of gets me to my love for TikTok because it's just such a bounty of inspiration. You know,
Do you use the? What do you post content on TikTok?
I post content on TikTok. It could be arranged. And it's crazy how like TikTok is so it knows me at the same time. And I know people really get freaked out of like I don't want it to have that information, but I think it's from that book, A New World, and they're like, always get A New World and 1984 mixed up, but they're talking about the future of technology and how one is like really depressing,
That's
the outlook.
1984.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
the other one is like saying not only are we going to be about it, we're gonna want more, we're gonna beg for it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the whole thing with social media right now and the ethical dilemmas that we're having.
I agree with the whole. I'm not afraid of the technology. Like I think it's fun. I like when I go on YouTube and it recommends videos I want to watch. It's like there's nothing wrong with that. I understand. I'm not like a government, official that I gotta watch what I say because my phone's listening. It's like, nah, bro. I like to listen to Baby King. Just play that shit.
Right? You know, and then the people that they throw across you because, like, oh, since you like this, well, what about this? And
Yeah.
it's such a big world out there. I don't know, that's what TikTok reminds me. And, like, I kind of see TikTok as a dictionary. And so any kind of term that I'm, like, confused on, I'll just type it in. And there's, like, 50 examples, human examples, that you can, and it's like almost that thing, you know how some people are like, oh, I learned by seeing, I learned by reading, or
Yeah.
they learn in a certain way. There's so many versions of a definition on there that it's going to get comprehension.
Yeah. You'll get visual examples, and they're so because it's a short form platform. Not like YouTube. Sometimes you watch a tutorial and it's like a 20-minute one and you didn't even answer your question. You're just wasting your time. TikTok's like a 1-minute video, maybe a 15-second video. You just skip. Okay, this one explains what I was looking for. And then it's searchable. So no one talks about TikTok being searchable. I'm glad you brought that up because people talk about Google or YouTube as a searchable platform to solve your problems. But TikTok is starting to do that. And,
They're there.
and it's dope. I like that.
Yeah, it's and like back to like the niche things. It's like you get exposed to niche music. Like there's so many artists that I found through TikTok that just have a profile and beautiful work and they just sing. That's all they do. Like no effects. They're just like insanely talented and they get this platform. And then I end up downloading their music
Yeah.
and playing them at my sets.
Have you heard of Ty Vertis?
No.
Ty Vertis.
Or maybe the like
Living
written
in
out, it kind of sounds
He has
familiar.
man, I don't know how song goes. Like living in a big blue world.
Yeah, living
something
in
out
a
of
stick blue
space. Yeah.
world. Yes.
Yeah. So he blew up through
Oh
TikTok.
yes.
Yes. He has
Yes.
one of my favorite stories, man.
Yes. Okay. I was like watching one of his reels because he was talking about his path.
Yeah.
You know, all in a cute little reel. Of
I
course.
discovered him in the middle of the pandemic. It was 2020, and he posted a video. It's like I'm about to quit my job because of this music thing. I was like, what the hell? And then I guess he started making a song. He sang it in his car, and then people started like wrestling. Oh yeah, release the song. Then eventually it started getting more plays, and then he quit his job, and then he ended up dropping a music video, and then boom, now he's playing festivals. He was at Lollapalooza like within a year just from working at Verizon, making it through TikTok, and then boom.
Verizon. Wow, that's really cool. I love hearing those stories because it's just, you know, it's not about the award shows, you know, or having to go through the hoops of a record company
Knowing
sometimes.
the labels
It's
of
the
being
people's
related to somebody.
choice.
Exactly.
Ah,
You have to just, and that's the thing is like you can't blow up and you can't create that magic if you don't post. And that's what I get mad with. I don't get mad, but it's frustrating to see other like local musicians, artists, rappers, whatever they do, rock, they're not posting content. And it's like, you should be posting your song in different creative ways, making TikToks because you don't know, like one video could change everything. And then I see some of these talented people. I'm like, you guys are so good. And it's like, you need to create content.
it really is, it really makes a difference these days. I mean, there's a power to word of mouth, but for music and creation, having that online presence, and it is a job in itself. It's a part of the package though. It
Yeah.
really is. And I'm feeling it. You know, like even when you don't want to post, it's just like, okay, I got to think of something. I got to keep it going, and that's what I've been trying to do as far as like so many times I can just work a gig and not post about it, you know? Cuz it's just when I get off, I just want to relax and just not,
Yeah.
you know.
There's I just had a couple. I had a group yesterday. They play like Spanish music, like
Yeah.
norteño.
Mhm.
They're pretty cool. I love that stuff of music. Like I like all music. You know, I like hip hop, rock,
Yeah.
Spanish stuff, and EDM. Like whatever's fun. It's a vibe. Everything's a different vibe. You get a
Yeah,
different
it's what
feeling
you
from it.
feel.
It's what you feel at the moment or at the event you're at. Um, and I told them like, you guys are gonna make TikToks of them loading their equipment into the car. That's like a whole. That's one piece. So if you're gonna do a gig, like if you don't know what to post, like, oh, I'm about to go DJ at this place. Kind of how you posted on Instagram that you were doing a podcast interview or something. That's the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm about to do this right now. That's a reel. And then when you're there, it's like, oh, I just got to the event, or like you make a reel of you hooking up all your equipment or something,
Yeah.
and then maybe some from the performance or not. Then packing all your stuff, and then just like, oh, I just had this gig, and you throw a couple highlights, and that's like four TikToks in one day from things you're doing,
Yeah.
just documenting.
It's and like that's the thing too I realized of the beauty of a videographer. Oh my gosh. Cuz it's like so many times it's like I'm telling myself cuz right now I am very independent, but it's only because I haven't invested time into finding the right help and everything because I'll have help for a while, but then it'll always be temporary.
Yeah.
And I've been DJing professionally for 7 years. And I started with this company called DJ2A Entertainment. They needed a karaoke host. And so I was like, I can do that. I wanted, because I was working for restaurants and I was a server. And before that, I was hosting. And so I was like, I need to do something else besides hospitality.
Yeah.
I'm searching.
Something creative.
Yeah. And so when the karaoke host came about, I was like, let's go. And we were out in 29 Palms at Tortoise Rock Casino. And one day they came up to me. It was like, I was like hosting for them for 2 years. And it was great. I built a rapport with everybody
Yeah.
there. It was fun times. It made me realize the beauty and the vulnerability that comes with karaoke sometimes. When you can get somebody to do something that they don't, it's not that they don't want to do, it's they don't think they can do it.
Yeah.
And it's just like making them comfortable. And so one day they came to me and they were like, hey, do you want to learn to DJ? And I was like, yeah. You know, and like my nickname growing up was Tina Turner because of a Mad Max haircut I did when I was in 8th grade. I used to have hair all the way down to my um thighs. And sorry, thinking too hard on that. And then like I cut it when my grandma died, and like
Wow.
she and I cut it with blunt scissors. There was a lot going on,
Yeah.
so it was choppy. It was choppy. I like first made it into Dora, and then I just got the scissors. I was like, I've always wanted layers, so I just got the scissors and just cut down. And so with it straight, it looked like Tina Turner from Mad Max, just a choppy
Yeah.
situation. And then when I got into college, people just started calling me Tina Turntables. Not that I ever DJ'd in college, but it was like a manifestation, just
Yeah.
planting. And so I end up
Getting taught about DJing.
so they taught me, and the thing is that it was all the way out in Tortoise Rock because it was the company was in Indio, and they were like, we're going to give you this company car. All you have to do is learn how to use the system and report here every Friday, Saturday, and then Thursdays is karaoke. So I was out there 3 days a week, just playing
Driving
music
back
for
and
people,
forth to 29.
plugging in and just learning the system, and it was wonderful. I played a lot of norteñas and
Uh,
metal and country and Polynesian music
okay.
out there, and you know, it's just kind of like what we were talking about earlier, as far as choosing different paths and what will
Mhm.
be better for you in the long run. And so I just started stacking and getting my own equipment.
Okay.
And instead of getting a percentage, I wanted to be the full service. And so after 3 years with the company, I went independent, and I noticed the way of, you know, because I just wanted to DJ, and so the way of doing that is getting a DJ residency, a place to pay,
Something consistent.
exactly. Thank you. And so, Libation Room was my first residency, and they were like a new bar at the time. And Barry at the time, like my homegirl Roxanne, she was working there as a cocktail, and she like recommended me. He's like, she's a great DJ, just give her a chance. And I ended up being the resident DJ for like 3 years, and it was wonderful because I was then free to like. Oh, here's the thing. I love observing people, so the heart that I would find in karaoke, basically, I realized as DJing, you get to talk to every single person without sharing words. As you're looking out in the crowd, you get to like just notice.
Their
You
vibes.
throw anything. You throw anything out there because you don't know what you're gonna play. I don't really enjoy making playlists because I don't know what's gonna happen or what the vibe's gonna be. So I just like collecting all types of music, so I'm just ready when the mood
Yeah,
strikes.
and you're checking out the vibes.
You know? And so when I'm like looking out in the crowd, I notice who's reacting to what music. And I'm like, okay, they're nodding their head. And there's people that like, they'll see themselves reacting or expressing themselves to the music, and then they'll like stop and look around because there's so many people that are afraid to express themselves.
Yeah.
And I see that over and over again from my booth. And like my goal is to like get them there, and give them a home. And like people don't know, like I don't have to DJ for a lot of people. I actually love DJing for intimate crowds because it's like once you follow, there's a leader. Like there was the first time I did a silent disco, they had blue and red, and I was back to back with another DJ. Shout out to Rafael Padilla. And it was in Indian Wells, and it was a silent disco.
Yeah.
So I was on one channel, and he was on the other, and it was amazing because you could see how people follow each other. And like one person would go red, and they would all go red systematically, and then they would all go back to green, and we would like go back and forth. Like people were like, it was interesting. So it was almost like an experiment just right there, because everything was color coded of like what is happening in real time when people are trying to find a vibe.
It's
You
like a
know?
trance. Like you're
And
in that
the
moment.
community of the dance floor too. And so I like understand that DJing is like orchestration and stuff. And that's too why I know a lot of DJs. I notice it's something I still don't fully understand, but a lot of DJs don't like taking requests. And you know what? My thing is, the reason why I love taking requests, as long as it's not a list,
Oh
okay?
yeah.
Like one song, like let's have
Yeah.
a conversation, because when someone comes up and brings that song, first of all, people are DJs. Everybody's a DJ.
Yeah.
People that think like, hey, I think this would go with this. I'm like, yeah, I hear you. I got you. I like that you said I got you.
Yeah.
And admittedly, I am a people pleaser, but that's because my mother was always an authoritarian in my life. So you I think of, if I have to like think of like DJing my now, it's like I grew up having to watch my mom's every face so I can predict, I don't know, predict some of her moves, maybe to like I wouldn't say protect myself, but yeah, protect my peace. I'll say it like that.
Yeah.
And sometimes it helps. So now as I DJ, I'm just so used to reading people's faces, the things that people can't hide, that they just show. It's just that elevated. Like I remember this, the seed of this.
Yeah.
You know, and so when taking requests, I'm like, it's the lessons I get because at Libation Room, I remember this couple, they were just like, please, this is like, they said a Peruvian salsa song. And like I admittedly, you know, I'm still learning my genres and everything. So I was like, I'm on rap now right now. You gotta give me some time. Okay, I'm gonna mix it, but you gotta give me some time to build those bridges there because I want to take everybody with us. And 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 so I finally played it. And it turns out they were like professional salsa dancers.
Oh
They
wow.
take over the whole floor, do the most amazing routine I've ever seen. He's lifting her, dirty dancing, you know? I'm
Yeah.
like, okay. And so, like that, I get those lessons time and time again when I'm taking requests because it's like, it's not the song, you know? Like, they're not trying to throw you off your vibe, but they're just trying to see, like, can you adapt to this? You know? And I think that's what makes that's what's helped my career and stuff because I love the challenges it throws at me. And
What's like a goal for you? Do you make your own music first of all? Do you sing? Do you make your own
see,
music?
that's so I said like the radio was a dream and everything, a
Yeah.
dream and a goal.
Yes.
And now making music is the next step because because I'm a mixer. I
That's sick.
just mix the music. The songs are my instruments and that's to the extent. But with all this time and learning the music and playing it and mixing it not just on the beat but on the melody and on the lyrics, you know, and being able to take it apart, I'm like, okay, I think I'm starting to find that sound, you know, and that sound is just like what you hear when you hear a song, you know, why so many artists today sample music because there's a feeling like
Yeah.
today it was Next Episode by Dr. Dre. And the original, you know, I think it's by his like last name is McCallum, but the original artist from the 70s who composed like
Yeah.
that.
He sampled. Yeah.
Yeah. That the fact that Dre was like, this has such a mood. This is like this is a gangster vibe. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna drop this on my song, and it fits because it's like, even though it's an instrumental, it still provoked a certain emotion. And like that's what I love about the artists today because they're not afraid to do this fusion, sample, flip it in the way, and maybe even like make it a more extreme. I don't know, put a loudspeaker on something so niche. It kind of brings me back to TikTok
Yeah.
with those niche things, those silent connections that don't have words, that aren't really articulated, but they're felt.
Yeah. What kind of music are you working, or that you do you just want to go with the feels? You don't know. You're just gonna be playing music and see what you can sample. What do you want to perform, or do you want to like DJ? What's like the plan?
Oh well,
Well, I mean, if you don't have a plan, to just go
I
with the,
mean, I definitely want to perform. I mean, I'm a
okay.
performing girl.
I figured.
You know, it's yeah, I the thing about DJing though is like I feel like a mad scientist sometimes. Like my head will be down because I'm so focused on my audio and trying to make it smooth as possible. So that's where all my attention is going. And sometimes I have to like, it's kind of like with a cheerleader, like keep smiling, keep
Yeah.
smiling. And so because you don't ever know who's looking at you. And it's funny because I look back at videos and I'm like, you know, I'm like a lot of the times I am dancing while I'm mixing, but then it's like when I'm trying to like get technical with it and really get the timing perfect, I'm focused and I'm just like
Just mad at the keyboard pressing it
you
like.
know, and I'm like, okay, I gotta work on that. But that's the thing, you want to bring a show like cuz you know people are staring at you. So you kind, you know, I know a lot of
You gotta
people,
make it entertaining.
yeah, entertaining. And I know a lot of people get energy from
The
seeing
perform. Yeah.
me, you know, and I'm like, because I get energy from seeing them. And then it's like, and that's why I love dancers. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I know I'm
dancers
just
are.
popping all over the place, but I just wanted to say that because dancers are my favorite type of people. Like, I think every dancer, like specifically, would be an amazing DJs. Just like how people like painters that do portraits and stuff would be
Yeah.
amazing makeup artists. And that's why I'm always like talking to makeup artists. I'm like, have you ever tried painting? Because this contouring, you can do this on a canvas, and I bet you're making like amazing. And they like a lot of the times they won't. They'll be
They never
different.
thought about it. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's those links,
Yeah.
and just like finding the link between my childhood to this profession, it's and then just trying to figure out like I don't know, DJing is so many lessons, and I love I love it.
I'm so happy that you're inspired to make music because you get it. You have this understanding, and I like that you're open to all kinds of music, and you have all the experience. You know what music sounds like in different languages, and different vibes, different styles, playing for different people. I think music is that, music. There's no, I mean, there's nothing wrong with the people that only listen to just like one genre. That they're having fun every time they listen and sing that song. That's their best moment. But I feel like you just have to be open to it. So this year, um, that was my goal for Coachella. Like I started asking because I make Coachella videos on YouTube,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, what artists do you guys recommend? And people were just commenting. So I checked out this artist Stromae.
Oh
Did
yeah,
you see Stromae?
yeah, yeah. From across the pond.
Oh my god, one of probably my top three for the whole Coachella weekend. Like I was in the front row from like I barely discovered his music like 2 months ago, and I took French in high school. 6 years, well, 4 years in high school and two in college. So I don't really speak that much, but I just love French culture. And then seeing that he was a friend, oh, he's a French speaking artist. He's from Belgium.
Yeah.
But I started checking out his music, Papa Tui and Allos and Don. So I was like, I gotta go see him. And then he's just a performer. Like I watched this one YouTube video where he performed in Montreal in like 2015, and like it was just a crazy show. It's on YouTube. So anybody just check it out. And you just the energy that he brings to the stage, and it's just different. It's an artist.
Yeah.
Like I don't even know what kind of genre he plays. I just see him as an artist, and I haven't really felt that way for a lot of people. It's like, oh, he's a rapper or he's a rock band, but like, no, he's an artist on stage. And the first song he opened up with, damn, I forgot what it's called, but it was like a maestro. Like he was just like like singing to the crowd. I'm like, this is sick. Like, and in French, so I didn't understand most of the lyrics. I was just like, this is awesome. I don't know what it is, but just the best.
And was this on the outdoor stage?
Yes.
Wow, I know. And that's the perks of going both.
Yeah. So the problem, he played at the same time as Megan Thee Stallion. So I chose not to see Megan so I could see Stromae, which is it's like I got to see some of her set too.
Yeah.
But I was like, this guy only tours in the U.S. every like 4 or 5 years, and I probably could catch Megan like Rolling Loud or something. So that was why I chose to watch him. But it was worth it.
That's the way. I love that. And I had been dying to see Megan. And that's the thing. There's such I don't know, maybe politics in the crowd sometimes because you have to really you can really find a vibe. Like I noticed in this Coachella that there were so many people that were what do they call them? NPRs?
NPCs.
NPCs.
NPC characters, yeah.
And like just like still.
Yeah.
And like
and then there's people next to you turning up, and then there's
yeah.
But that's also I get it though, because maybe they're just tired because I've been in that situation where like even though you're enjoying the show, you're just like super exhausted or you're cold or it's like I'm just gonna watch it, or maybe you're dehydrated from being there all day.
Yeah.
And then maybe they're enjoying it too, but their body just can't keep up. And then there's people that are just freaking partying, going crazy, getting on top of people's shoulders and jumping up and down, and
right.
That's a whole different vibe. There's people that are sitting down, like right here in the corner, they're sitting down the back, and then they're just like bobbing their head, they're resting, but they're still enjoying it. So it's like everyone's in their own little world, so.
Yeah, it's true. And that's what reminded me to like, if you don't like a spot, you can keep going because it's only a matter of time you find something that fits just right. And that's what happened for Megan the Stallion, because that was the best niche group. It was like a sorority, and like it was like really cool because my friend ended up giving me artist wristbands. So that was my first time experiencing that area. And when we found that crew, you know what? I tell you what I do it for. So it was, and then they were angry, and they were singing every lyric, and I was angry with them, and it was nice. It felt like I don't know, a feminine mosh pit.
Yeah.
Just feminine
And then you're
angst.
locked in with the people around you. That feeling you're feeling, the people around you feeling that feeling too. And there's a
Yeah.
connection in the air or just in the field. I don't know what it is. It's like you were saying, you're never surrounded by that many people.
Yes.
Then you're surrounded by a group of people who are listening to the same music,
Mhm.
and you say you know the lyrics, so it's just like it just feels so cool. Like I love when it's that feeling. There's nothing like it.
And then too, I realize with people being in their own world, whatever vibe that might be, it kind of takes me back to like when I would see shows on concerts on YouTube. Sometimes I'll be like, why is that crowd so dead?
Yeah.
And like, any show with the sun up before, in the high afternoon, that heat is real. So
Yeah.
you can only give what you can. I'm in my AC, just like, why aren't they jumping? And it's
There's
like,
also something that doesn't translate to YouTube. So when you watch that YouTube video and then you're like, that crowd looks weak. But if you're in that crowd and you're in that group, like someone might have watched the live stream of Megan and then they have like a certain camera angle where like maybe
Yep.
the section's not turning up, but you're literally like off screen over here having the greatest time that doesn't translate to the stream. So it's like you also have to kind of be there. And then you don't get
true.
the vibrations from the speakers and the people around you singing, hearing everyone's little tunes, like the same song. So it's like it doesn't translate. So I never judge crowds anymore because
Yeah.
I used to do a lot of judging, like I don't know, subconscious hating for no reason. But then like the last few years I kind of understand like just everyone's in their own thing, just and yeah, I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. That's the beauty. As you get older, you are blessed with experiencing stuff from more perspectives.
Yeah.
Stuff that used to be like, two-dimensional is now like multi-dimensional. And every time I'm angry, it's always a lack of perspective, because I have
Yes.
like really wise friends. So I'll be talking to them and I'll be like, I'm angry because of this. And then they'll just identify me right here in the middle and then just broaden that picture and being like, it's not just that, Tina. It is all the ways and many. And so, truthfully, my mom is my most challenging relationship, but each as we spend more time together, it's kind of like she's becoming more human.
Yeah.
As long, like, not just an authoritarian, but even in my big age, she's still but we're working
What'd she
on
say
it.
about you being on radio that she used to do radio?
Oh yeah, she's proud. She's very proud whenever we're like
Wait,
out
how do
and
you get the
about.
radio gig? I don't think I asked you.
Oh, so a lot of intentionality. So the thing is that once I started doing the great thing about Libation Room is that it showed me the beauty of word of mouth.
Mm-hmm.
All of my clients that I was doing private parties for were from Libation Room.
Yeah.
And it just started translating to bigger things. And like I was doing Bighorn Golf Club's New Year's Eve parties, and then just their events all throughout the year. Like I've already done
Yeah.
5 events for them just this year. And so it's like I just kept on. And like, here's the thing, radio is something I always wanted to do. And I knew the way of getting on the radio was I wanted to be noticed by them. I didn't really want to go directly to them. So I wanted to build my thing. And I went to COD for a couple of years and did some broadcasting classes.
Okay.
And so, but there was a pause, and then that was my restaurant life. And then so when DJing came back and everything, I just started working, and I knew with these clients I would come across. And then finally, with I DJ'd BB's the Halloween bash honoring his memory, and that was in partnership with the Westin and Marker Broadcasting. And I was already on Marker Broadcasting's radar because just Libation Room, when it first opened, the people that would go there are the people that have helped my career so much. It was like when you network and it's like being in the right crowds, having access to those people that are going to hire you and so on, and have you
Yeah.
grow. And so anyways, I did this BB party, and that's how I directly became linked with them, because we were doing this event. And then they liked my work, and then eventually they contacted me, because this was in Halloween of last year. And they contacted me. He was like, we want you to come into, we were considering you for a position, so come in and interview and
That's so
everything.
cool.
And Big Boss just called me directly and everything. So it was really like, okay, yeah, you need me to be there. And then they told me their vision, because they wanted a local to take over the top 40, because it used to be a cool jazz station, so it's Cool 95.9.
Yeah.
So now they were rebranding it, and so now it's Hot
95.
95.9 top 40 mainstream. And so I've just been getting my feet wet, and really,
How's the process of the show? Like, how is it recorded? Do you do like certain music, then you do like a talking point? Because I was listening to it. I had to check it out, so
and
I heard you stream a little
well, thanks for tuning in. And so it's curated by
the rankings.
yeah, and all of their music comes from um, labels, record labels,
Hmm.
and everything. And so I'm just still learning like the process of that, and like, cuz my big goal is to get
Music.
local sound on the radio. And so we're still in talks about that. But basically their goal is like, all right, we want you to be known at this station, and this is yours to define and grow. You can, take it where you like, but what do you like? And the radio can help you get there. So I'm definitely honored for the opportunity, and it's been a whirlwind trying to understand the corporate levels of it. And yeah, just seeing. But as far as music goes, so I go in there and it is pre-recorded. I do the voice drops, and I basically record during the songs. I talk a little bit of facts about the song sometimes, or local events.
Yeah. And then you'll be like, oh, I was doing this thing, and it
Yeah,
reminds me of this song. You guys should check out this. And then the next song will play, and
right.
then like you always tell a cool story. I noticed that.
And like during Coachella time, I was because it's like, you know what? Might as well talk about those Coachella experiences,
Yeah.
and get those people. I know there's a lot of first timers that win, as there is every year, but it was just kind of cool to have that platform to just talk to the people, and especially with events coming up too. I mean, that Coachella Valley Care, that's going to be a new one for me,
Oh yeah, you're gonna be
and
teaching. I saw that. Yeah.
yeah, it's going to be a program for teenagers, and it's from a nonprofit, so it's free. All you got to do is sign up, and held at Flat Black Shop in the shops at Palm Desert. And I'm just excited because they're really trying to help the community, and the fact that they considered me to like be a part of it, I'm like, you guys are so great,
That's
just
awesome.
providing that. And so I'm just curious to see, how it goes, the instructing. And but I used to tutor when in my younger days, so I
Yeah.
love teaching and breaking something down in different perspectives,
Yeah.
and like just like kind of individually figuring out somebody, and like kind of tailoring to them, like, okay, so I mean by this and this. And so I'm excited to kind of delve into that area.
What's like as far as you have like a whole other side of you that you do commercials and modeling and acting, because I saw on your YouTube channel you had a few commercials. I was like, damn, like I didn't know she was a whole actress or actor. And
Yeah.
then you posted on your Instagram, you just did like some Airbnb home type thing, right? Like in Palm Springs.
Yes, yes, with Cunningham and Johnson, they were sought out to film this amazing Airbnb, and it's I didn't know there was like a whole neighborhood behind Bighorn in the mountains,
Yeah.
but there's amazing estates out there, and this one was the on the tallest mountain, and there was golf sheep, no, sheep. What are they
Goat?
called? Thank you.
Bighorn. The
Bighorn
Bighorn,
sheep.
yeah.
They were just right there in the on the driveway.
What?
Yeah, and that place was beautiful. I guess they had just finished construction on it and it was just sold, and what a dream pad. Like it looks like such a venue too. It was magnificent and
Just
like
goals.
a Coachella party venue.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I never knew those properties around that were hosting those Coachella private parties were even like. So this is just here all year, and all of a sudden it's gonna pop up for Coachella. Like,
Yeah.
how do we get access to this all year round?
So many exclusive parties. Yeah.
Exclusivity,
A lot
for
of,
real.
yeah. Especially
And-
people come from LA to get away from the big city and do stuff here.
Mhm.
It's a lot of meetings. There's a lot of celebrities at the Bighorn Country Club. Steven Spielberg lives there, and like all kinds of like just legends. Like I have a friend who was working security. He's like, oh yeah, like Sylvester Stallone always comes through,
Just
and
chilling.
all these like actors and comedians and retired musicians. They just all these people live here in the valley, but you just don't know, Madison
Right.
Club.
It's yes, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm saying. It's an untapped place for like the locals. Everybody sees it. Like there's something here, and that hasn't been tapped into.
Yeah.
And we just have to find a way, maybe through more work like this, or just going through those shows like Razor J throwing that show, just bringing exposure to just our people, just people, because we only get exposure through the big events, but the people are coming here and there's no music scene, there's no big movements here where like if we create something that's dope and then those events are happening, then we're like, oh, well, have you heard of this shit? They're already here in the valley. Have you heard of this event? So next year, maybe like a Coachella or something that's like people want to come to, and all the big names are here. So that's the exposure that could help everybody out.
Building the scene, it's and I always think about like when I think about these of like, oh, the valley should have this. And then that second thought comes to mind of like, oh, it's probably waiting for me to do it, And it's like, what am I doing in my power to like help the scene? Because really my dream for the desert, for the valley, is I would love a night vibe, like Vegas. I know Vegas is a city that never sleeps, or is that New York?
Vegas. No,
Thank
I think that's New York. Yeah, is in New York the city never sleeps?
You know what? They both can say that though.
Yeah, they both could say that.
So it's probably anyways, but
a Big Apple.
It's so like it's the fact that we're not all nocturnal once the sun starts, making its presence known is just beyond me. The fact that we have stores that are open in the hottest parts of the day and the nighttime right now, we're having 80-degree nights.
Yeah.
Why isn't our day starting right now?
Yeah.
The poppin', but it's like the sleepy town. Once 9 o'clock, maybe even 8 hits.
As soon as the sun goes down, it's done.
I was eating at Tommy Bahamas yesterday, the one off El Paseo, beautiful deck. I mean, straight to the mountains, watch the sunset, eating my little tacos, and it cleared out. I said, how are we the only ones enjoying this amazing sunset? This should be popping right now. But it's like a sleepy town. I don't.
Yeah. Is it because we need to capture the magic that we know it's out there, but we need to like just package it better?
Yeah, packaging.
Packaging, that's what it is.
Packaging and branding.
And that's what all these artists, you blow up by having a good package and good marketing and anything, and you want to create a scene. Yes, you could go word of mouth, but you got to use all the tools right now. So we got to make some kind of package, TikTok, just document and start making it cool, so people start coming out to it.
Yeah.
So not just doing it, but making it cool. That's what it's all about, and no one has done that. So I'm actually working on something, but I can't say the details yet.
Hey.
It's gonna be some good shit.
All right. Drop a little hint.
Yeah.
That's right. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it's because I noticed the same thing. I'm like, it's such a amazing place, and it's like we need to get it, and everybody has the hunger. Like I talk to all kinds of artists, musicians, just everybody
hunger.
knows that they want to do something, but also not enough people working together. That's another thing. How you said, I'm gonna do it, and then other people have the same idea, but it's like we gotta package it and have a bunch of people work on it together, so it comes out, with everybody's input, make it something that's gonna help.
Collective.
A collective, Yeah. It all starts like that. You can't start a movement you can by yourself, but it's better when you have a team, building a team.
I mean, you're strong, but when you find the people to back you, or to back the people that are in the same, it goes so much further. I mean, just kind of like they say, what a good relationship can do to someone, to two people, how far they can go, and as opposed to someone alone, or as opposed to someone in a bad relationship, how far off
drag you down. Yeah.
But it can take you to the stars as well. And it's just, self-care is so important. But working together out here, yeah, that network, it's crucial.
Yeah, networking has done so much for my personal career. Just like networking, that's another thing too. Is just like you gotta put yourself out there, start creating, man. Like I want people to create more and do more. And that's because I do a lot of videos, but I don't do enough. And then people are like, "Damn, you're always doing videos." I'm like, even I know I'm not doing enough, and I know a lot of people are not doing enough. And like when I see other people hustling, and it encourages me to, I gotta make more videos. Or I see some, other people doing podcasts or shooting music videos or doing whatever. I'm like, it gets me like a spark going. So what I try to do is like I try to post and do a lot of stuff. So hopefully inspire other people to do it too, because it's like sometimes you need that, like, you know somebody that's doing something, you kind of want to do it. And I always try to help people. I've helped a couple of people start their podcast, photography, videography, whatever I can.
You know what? And that helping, that teaching somebody what you know, and watching them take that and grow it into is the magic I would like to expand on too, because I will always be forever thankful to DJ 2A Entertainment for teaching me and taking me in, and like giving me this experience to where I am today. And so it's happened once, and that's why I'm excited about the instructing, because really my dream is to take what I have learned, give it to somebody or a lot of people, and to where they can use it as a seed to be able to grow and get to their vision.
Yeah.
And like I've had an apprentice before. Shout out to Cali Mattress. Hey. And he was it's so beautiful when you find someone that is so driven. And he came up to me and he was just like, I want to do this. What's up? And I was like, well, you gotta show up. You gotta show up, bro. And like he showed up. He didn't take a day off, and and like now he has his own DJ thing, and that man is so passionate. It's like, all right. And it's like I taught him the things that I knew, and to see where he's taken it in his own thing is something that gives me so much joy. And I'm like, I want to keep on doing this type, because this company planted a seed in me. And so it's like you got to keep on paying it forward in a way, but like it doesn't feel like you're really paying. You're just helping others find the way, just like you're finding.
That's the best feeling, helping people.
Yeah.
And the more you do stuff, the more life experience. All these younger kids, or no matter how old they are, they just want to start learning. Like you just give them your 2 cents, and then some of them take it far. Some of them maybe they don't do what you do, but they do something else a little bit different, and they're doing their own thing too, and it's just that's the best.
Evolve it, take it just to a place. I mean, and that's the thing when I think of like Nicki Minaj, her as a rapper, and like to see all these rappers now these days, it's like, wow. I know there's a lot of artists that are influential, but just her as an example,
Yeah.
like when I think of Nicki Minaj, I think of Doja Cat. Like, you know, what is it? Nicki walks, so you know.
She's amazing. I wish she could do more shows. She
Yeah.
never performs.
I mean, she's a mama now.
Yeah.
You know?
She's never been to Coachella either. Ever. She could
That
be a headliner.
that right? Now that would be
That's how I've always had my fingers crossed. I hope
wow, that got me really excited. I'd never even thought about
her at the Sahara tent just going crazy.
no, put her
The
outside. She's main stage.
main stage, yeah.
Yeah. That's a coach. That's like a Beyonce moment right there. Like she's gonna make it her own.
Maybe
And,
that
oh my
monster
gosh.
verse.
Oh, yeah, all her content, her catalog.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And that's what I always like to think of too is like what is Coachella? Who are they gonna ask to come back? Because or to come perform? Because I tell you, I really wanted to see Rage. I really wanted to see Rage
Yeah.
Against the Machine. That broke. I was just like, this is gonna be a special year, and
Yeah.
it was a special year, just not in the way I thought it was going to be. And
I was the same way with Kanye. He's my favorite artist of all time.
and I think that's why there was like this year had a lot of newer artists. Usually they have like
More established, but
more
that
veterans
it
in
was
there, at
fun
least
because it was a
one.
discovery year for me. That's the way I took it. Like, yeah, maybe we didn't get the headliners we wanted, but
Yeah.
the rest of the lineup was amazing and
Oh
so
no,
much
I mean,
fun.
but that's the thing. I still enjoyed the ones that
Yeah.
performed. I mean, even though yeah, I still enjoyed them. I'll leave it at that. But
I saw Rage Against the Machine. I checked out their tour dates. So right now they have a tour starting in the fall, early next year, and it ends on April 2nd, and that's the end of their tour. So they might still play Coachella. They don't have anything else in April right after the tour ends. I'm just saying, throwing it out there for the universe.
Rage Against the Machine and Nicki Minaj, let's go.
Let's go. And Frank Ocean's the third one. He's already on the lineup.
Stop. You better slow down dropping these.
Maybe Kendrick's. He's just went on tour.
Right? He's
He's
gonna be dropping his
starting the tour. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of artists. I mean, what's like your 3 favorite artists of all time?
Well, see, that's kind of reflective on why my favorite concert of all time, like Coachella, is definitely high up there, but Desert Trip was my most favorite concert, and so Pink Floyd is one of the tops. Gosh, and Gilberto Gil. He's one of the tops. He's a Portuguese Brazilian artist. Wow.
I never heard of him.
Wow.
I gotta listen to that.
It gives me such. Anyways, it's such release when I hear his music. It's so and third one. And the other thing is that like sometimes with Kanye, I get so like wrapped up in his
non-music stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, but the other day I just took time to like look back on his old catalog. So good. What a storyteller. I mean,
he's so good.
I was listening to Say You Will from 808 and like
yeah, that melody just like the beep.
And like here's the thing, I haven't listened to Runaway in a long time. And when I first heard it, I feel like I was definitely a younger. There was something that's developed since I've heard that song. And I heard it again the other day. And I was like, I've lived this. I know exactly what you're saying now. Because it's like a man that's so in love, like with, well, this is my perception I picked up now, but that's so in love with fame. It kind of gives me Childish Gambino vibes when he would talk about like having 2 mistresses, one being, the industry and one being your actual. Well, actually, I heard that it's not even. That's not even an actual woman. It's like the two things that are just constantly heading each other. But anyways, um Roberta Flack. Roberta Flack.
Who's that? I've not heard of him.
She is a songstress from the 70s, known for soul music. Uh, Bob Dylan wrote a lot of the songs that she sang, but a lot of the songs that she just, her as an artist, she, okay, and like let's throw Fiona Apple in there, okay? Those are those four right there, that's a hard pack right there because Fiona Apple and Roberta Flack, the way people love Billie Eilish, I hope they understand Fiona Apple was like one of the inspirations because it's the way she writes and the way she composes her music because she started playing piano at a very young age and so all of her music is so, and that's the level I would like to get to, like when I do start pursuing like making music.
Yeah.
And that's why I realized to be a better DJ, I got to learn these instruments because once you learn an instrument, I know you will look at music
Completely different. Yeah.
exactly. And so I'm definitely working on that. I just the trumpet makes my lips hurt,
Trumpet.
but the violin's nice. You know what, low key, there's this woman I follow on Instagram. She's literally all her posts of her in this room that is like a garden and she's playing a cello wearing like a goddess gown. And so
Yeah.
now I have this need to learn not the cello. I'm sorry,
The
it's not the
violin.
cello. It's the harp.
The harp.
The harp. She's looking like Eve.
Yeah.
Adam where? Adam who? She's just Eve in her
Garden, just killing it.
yeah, and I'm like, okay, I need to play the harp now.
I like to watch those videos. Not I don't know the creator you're talking about, but I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan.
Mm-hmm.
So I would watch like covers of like Lord of the Rings songs, like the Shire song. I'll be like someone on like some beautiful mountain just playing that violin to the wind, like just by themselves, and like a drone shot, just like and capturing that magic of like Middle Earth. So like I love like seeing content like that.
And that's the beautiful thing about the internet age. It's like things that you maybe in your wildest dreams or things that you didn't even like really think. There they are.
Yeah.
And I don't know. That sounds magical though. I might need a link to that.
It's just different. It's like what the hell?
And you know what? The covers too are amazing. The other day I heard The Weeknd's Blinding Lights. It was covered by this guy. He goes by X Ambassadors. And I don't know if it was because of the beat, of the Weeknd version that I never really listened to the words. Like you're kind of like amped up when that song plays. But when he like spread it out and was on his acoustic level, it was beautiful. He was just like, you can't sleep without my touch. I don't know. It just gotta love interpretation.
Yeah, music. Also, like you were saying earlier, when you went back to Kanye, the same thing. I was already a fan of him, but like listening to like the old stuff from College Dropout, when you get older, is way different now. Like you were saying, like Family Business and all that stuff. Like it just hits different.
Yeah.
Versus when you listen to when I was a kid. Like to be honest, as a kid, I wasn't even a big fan of. I loved all the hits. Like in middle school, or high. It was like in middle school. Graduation dropped, and that one has all the like anthems. Stronger.
You live your experiences, and it's like he's waiting for you. Like I'm gonna just make this genius right here.
Yeah.
And when you're ready, they will be here for you.
Yeah. And then like you said, it's just a storytelling, just masterpiece. The new stuff, of course, he's going through a lot of stuff, and some of it's still amazing. I mean, there's some misses in there, but maybe those misses are not gonna be misses once we experience some shit later on in our lives.
Right?
That's what it is. It's like I trust that because I listened to him be a genius before, and he's doing something, and he keeps evolving. He's been relevant for 20 years. Like it's hard to do that as an artist. He's literally been at the top of the game since he came out, just nonstop. whether it's
Yeah.
positive or negative sometimes, but he's found the way.
He really has. I mean, and in so many different, and that's the thing, seeing with a lot of these modern stars, with like you see Rihanna, she's not doing music anymore, but now she's into all these other fields. You know, Kanye into all his other fields, and I mean, you're just getting you know the artist, these
Gambino's a whole
celebrities.
producer, writer, comedian. He's just amazing.
Did you see when he came out here those years ago when he performed? I think it was the Awaken My Love album out in Joshua Tree.
Ah, no, I had friends that went to it, but didn't go to it. I know, I heard about it.
I still hear about it, and
You didn't go either. I thought you went. I was like,
no, I'm.
I know. I heard that experience was just like incredible, but
You know, I just wanted. That's my goal. I just want to go to all the shows.
me too. After Coachella, I've just been looking. I'm like, what concerts are coming up? You know, I saw some tickets. It's Wiz Khalifa and Logic for like $30 in Orange County.
Wow.
I'm like, I want to just for Wiz Khalifa. I'll go watch him. I'm
Right?
not Logic. I don't really care about him, but
Yeah.
I mean, I'll still give him a chance. But for Wiz Khalifa, because I grew up in high school and he was dropping his music, so I'm like, fuck yeah, that's vibes right
I
there.
still remember Wiz from Coachella.
Oh yeah,
You saw it, right?
2019.
Yeah.
That shit was so good, and
It
the
was.
confetti. He's got nothing but
That was
bangers.
a special performance. It
Yeah.
really was. Like I remember I was like back there and I was just like, this is hitting different.
I saw Wiz Khalifa 2011 too. I was front row, front of the stage. Coachella
Can you look
2011.
back
Yeah, he was playing all that roll up, no sleep, all the
Mm-hmm.
classics.
Mm.
That shit just takes me back. So I might think of going to that one because I wanted to go to a festival, but it's like that's
30
more
bucks?
expensive.
Get out,
30
get out of
bucks is
here.
like hell yeah.
Right?
30 bucks in gas. Watch it for 30 bucks, and then
And you know what? You're gonna be surrounded with more fans, so that vibe is gonna be prevalent.
because it's a concert. That's what when you go to a concert, it's
Exactly.
really fun when you go to like an artist specific concert versus like a
Yeah.
festival.
Oh, and do you ever frequent the Alibi in Palm Springs?
No,
I gotta tell
I don't
you,
think I've ever been to that.
you know what? As far as strong venues for like artists that are just talented, you got to put that place on your list because they've got some connects, and the people who are like I don't know, what do you call it, the person that
Promoter.
the promoter, who's ever like scheduling these
Yeah.
shows has such an ear because they've got just hip bands coming there. And like, I'm so excited because like on May 28th, right now there's this resurgence of soul music.
Mhm.
Like that soul music that used to hear in the 70s. There's modern music being made today. Like have you heard of the Sacred Souls?
No.
Their main song is "Can I Call You Rose," and "Can I Call You?" Oh, it's basically, there's a resurgence of soul music right now, and part of that resurgence are like Los Yesterdays and the Altons, and they're from California. And the music is so good. And the fact that they're going to be at the Alibi in Palm Springs May 28th, I'm DJing that day
Oh my god.
at a different venue. So it is killing me that I'm going to find a way. I'm going to find a way of making that work. But there's just good music coming out. And the Alibi Palm Springs, they kind of give you a Pappy and Harriet's vibe.
I gotta check it out for sure.
Yeah. No work, no reward. No risk, no reward.
Yeah.
You got to put work in, and it'll.
It's because you got like what I was saying is you gotta make it cool.
Yeah.
If you make it cool and you make video, this is no one. I've never seen any videos from all these places. Like 420 Bank should be making dope ass content,
Yes.
badass videos, even videos of the artists they're gonna have performing there to make it look like, oh cool, I gotta be there. But they literally put a flyer and expect people to show up. Like
Yeah.
it's just.
And that's the thing. It's like there's videographers out here. There really are, and it's like that's what I'm telling myself too. It's like I'm looking at these businesses, and I'm like, oh, they need to be doing this, and I'm hearing what you're saying now, but it's like I need to do that too. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you don't need a videographer. You could use your phone.
No, I need a videographer.
Well, I mean, everybody needs
Yeah, because
high quality stuff too, but low quality stuff is better than no stuff.
This is true. This is
Yeah.
true. But if I had a videographer, woo!
Take
You
it to the
know,
next
it's
level.
because that's the thing. You want to get lost in the moment when you're performing, but it's like if you have to think of like, oh my gosh, there's a moment. You almost have to predict. There's a moment right now. I gotta capture this. And so,
Well, you can record and play. You definitely need somebody there. Yeah.
but I tell you, it's a time of the videographer. Like just all these videographer, promoter, all of these like industries, they're blooming right now because the need is uncomparable, really.
Yeah.
And just appreciative. And like when I see you guys do, and I get inspired by people doing their passions, you
You ever
know.
thought about
And
starting your own podcast?
I have thought about
You
it.
should start. You definitely need to start a podcast.
You know what?
Make it start a music podcast talking about you're so passionate and you know so much music, like you would kill it.
Just get in
And you
there.
have the most amazing radio voice. Not radio voice. You have the most amazing voice. So
Thank you.
Brian over here,
Hey.
he's got the headphones on. Brian's the #1 fan now.
I'm talking to you, Brian. But shout out, really. Yes, yes, definitely. That's definitely in the mix. I wanna actually do like a whole consistent vlog because a lot of the things is like I don't think people realize how much it takes to run a mobile DJ business. A lot of these like I'll do weddings and you're not just a DJ, you're not just mixing music. Like you're the audio guy, you girl, you're the lighting, you're everything. And like my problem is like, yeah, I can do that. I can do that. And all of a sudden I'm agreeing to doing all these things. First of all, pricing has been quite the challenge. And but like I'm my own stagehand and I'm so about quality of sound that I'm investing in these speakers, but these are heavy mamas.
Yeah.
And so like I'm not I haven't I'm a little ripped. I'm a little ripped, and I feel a difference in my body because I'm doing my own load-ins and my own loadouts and like I tell you, it's stressful because I do really care about what I do, especially when I'm doing weddings. It's a lot of pressure because I'm providing the microphone as well.
Yeah.
So it's just like the better mic, the more money you invest in, the better your mic is going to be, And I would give myself a heart attack not investing in the right mics. And every time they're saying their vows and a word might get lost, I'm just like fidgeting, And like I remember the first wedding I did a few years back, and it was just it was a bit of a fail, but I learned so much from that wedding. I learned about the importance of speaker placement, and that got me into looking up sound theory, not just music theory, but sound theory, and like how are you
The
gonna
waves and everything.
get the best placement? Get the best placement, and it's just it all helps with your performance because the better your sound, the better you're going to be received. Like you could be the best DJ in the world, but if your sound's not right, so it's like you're putting on these hats.
Yeah.
And like I've been learning so much, learning the right wires, a golden one versus like platinum. I said, what? Gets a better sound, the grounding, electricity, just there's so much
to it. Just science to it.
There's so much to like sound setups that like I really am considering going to school to be like a sound
Engineer or something.
engineer.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm just already doing it, just like what do I need to do to get to this?
Yeah.
And like you keep on approaching things that way, and all of a sudden you look back and like reaching those things so much easier. And like the way you're adapting, I tell you, doing these events, I always think about chords, like you can't be running chords through pathways. I have so much gaff tape
everywhere.
No, always. And knowing how to pick the gaff tape up and making sure it doesn't stick onto itself, because it's a nightmare when gaff tape sticks onto itself. These things that you learn on the go. And like I realized there's no such thing as bad luck. It's just your level of adaptability. Because if you can adapt to any situation, well,
Yeah.
guess you're making your own luck.
Where can people find you on social media before we take off?
Instagram is my main one. Tina Turntables _ Just look for the fro. And also, I love TikTok.
Look for the fro.
I love TikTok, so it's just straight up Tina Turntables on TikTok. I post a lot of random stuff on there. I love connecting with strangers because it's just a community I can't reach on the thing. But and then also Facebook for my old heads out there. Uh, Facebook.com/DJTT5. And then last but not least, you can catch me on Hot 95.9 on the FM dial from Monday through Friday, 2 to 6. And also, you don't need a radio. You can visit hot959fm.com, and we got 24-hour streaming there. So enjoy. I hope to connect with you all. Angel, thank you for having me.
And you're always welcome to come back on the podcast anytime.
Thank you.
Want to promote anything or just come talk music and hang out? Maybe we'll Razor J next time. Shout out Razor
Let's go.
J.
Yeah, right?
Just chop it up and yeah, looking forward to seeing your content.
Thank you.